then when they'll tell you go to the university, because
as soon as
when you go to exactly,
and
as
I think as at then it was actually something.
it's really a problem that when you show your parents what you're being taught in school, they're telling you, I know this thing they taught me, they even taught my mother.
I'm robbery, you're beating me because I don't have, but
and you don't have as well.
One of the reasons why dollar affects us is the fact that we outsource almost everything in the country.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everything white people will do for us, everything somebody has to do for us, and we keep importing everything.
Yes.
Down to toothpick.
They are willing to work, but they don't just have, they cannot just access job.
There was a friend then that said that she had sent so many CVs and she had gotten 400, unfortunately. Do you know what it
400
means to
That one
get
is cost.
400 rejections?
Welcome to the Timeline Show.
Hi there, welcome to Timeline. Our topic for today is on unemployment. I am Jennifer again, and I won't be doing this alone. I have Precious and Jennifer with me. Hi girls, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi Jennifer, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Unemployment is the state of being unemployed. It's the state of being without work. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, defines unemployment as people of a specified age being without work, being without paid employment, and or self-employment, and are available to work. So it means that these people want to work, but they just don't have the job. Looking around, you see lots of people without, jobs. And I look at people sometimes when I'm like, how will you survive this earth?
Exactly.
Some of them are even doing something. I'm like, will you use these things to actually see yourself through life?
There's some people that even have jobs that even find it very hard. So imagine the ones that don't even have jobs at all.
Yeah. And these people is like, is it the country? Did the country fail them, or they don't even want to work too? And we could talk more about how many people are on the streets, but the statistics will paint a better picture. The International Labour Organization stated that about 172 million people were without work, and now this is a global problem. It's not just really affecting Africa alone or even Nigeria. Now the UK unemployment rate was 4.2%, and 1.44 million people aged 16 plus were unemployed. Even in the United States, 6.4 million people were unemployed. And then in South Africa, they said they have the highest unemployment rate in the world. Of the 10 countries with the highest unemployment rates, 9 were in Sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa has to be one of the continents that take the brunt for almost everything. Also, the World Bank has estimated that 14.2% of the total labor force in Angola are unemployed, Botswana 23.6%, and in Congo 19.9%. You would get it that it is mostly these Sub-Saharan African countries that this thing is largely affected by.
Being affected by this.
Yeah.
Why is most of the issues always related to Sub-Saharan Africa? I mean, it's a global problem, but you see that their numbers are low as regards, countries in Africa. Now, let's look at the causes of this unemployment in, the world, especially down to, Nigeria.
Yes.
Let's look at our education sector, for example. That's the number one when it comes to why a lot of graduates are without job, or why some of them don't even have access to jobs. Because it's not yes, education is accessible like that, but even when it is accessible, what are they being taught in school?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The curriculum, is it on par with the way the world is evolving?
Changing.
We have artificial intelligence now, we have robotics, we have a lot of tech going on, but our computer scientists they are limited to basic. I'm not even shading anybody, but let's be for real.
I promise you, they're always just doing Microsoft Word, Excel, and all of those. I promise you that the educational system, especially in this part of the world, is a reason to worry. Because explain to me why somebody that is supposed to be doing a practical course medicine, for instance, is going to school to study for 6 years, and when you come out of school, you have to pretty much teach yourself again in order to match up with the skills that are needed outside.
Jennifer, is like you schooled in London. This one you have nothing to talk about
do you
education.
understand?
We are all in this together because you're talking about computer and the rest of them. So and I'm thinking, I have a sibling that's still in secondary school, and then when I see his computer lectures or classes or notes, I'm wondering, Do you know that we left Charles Babbage like
A long time
long
ago.
time ago? They are still teaching you this. We are no more there. Garbage in, garbage out, and all those things. We are no more there. We've evolved.
Yeah.
We are talking AI. That's where we
Exactly.
should like.
That's
The
where we should be
curriculum
at.
does not cover the fact that we are evolving. They are still teaching us something that is as old as I don't know. So these are all the things that happen with the education sector. Like we're not changing.
Yeah.
I checked the course outline for them,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing that it's the same thing I was taught how many years ago. That's still what they are being taught. And even in the universities, the same thing. They are still teaching the same thing. Things are changing. There are more inventions happening. People are changing. But if you come to classes, it's still the same curriculum. How do you expect to bring students that can actually match up to the changes that are actually happening?
And
You know, I think it's really a problem that when you show your parents what you're being taught in school, they're telling you, I know this thing, they taught me, they even taught my mother. I think it's a problem because when you go to countries like China, for instance, the US,
they are implementing it.
like as things are evolving, their educational system and curriculum is evolving as well, because they know that when these people come out to the society, they actually should have something to show and say, I went to school for this and I match the job descriptions. But now in Nigeria, when you go to school and come out, it's as if you have to take more courses to be able to meet up.
And these employers don't even make it easy because I just graduated. Why are you showing me a job that
They're
you're asking for 5
6
years
years.
experience? Where do you want me to get the experience from?
And the experience can't be there because the truth is just that, and I understand those employers to an extent, but at the same time, there's no practical for most of the courses we study.
Yeah.
True.
Like, take for example, I studied psychology. But man, there are plenty things I did see. Like for the 4 years I studied
Yes.
psychology, I only heard of them. Like I heard in theory, but I never saw all those things. Some equipment, some tests, papers.
Yeah.
Even the tests I saw, they are the ones that were used like many years ago.
We have to read past questions
exactly. You're reading past questions. Imagine, we are supposed to come to a point where we don't use past questions
Anymore.
because things are changing. What we should be saying is, you go and study the changes.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I'm implementing.
And
You know, this
Implement
reminds
it.
me of this exam that I saw that I think was during the election period, and the lecturer told them, "You just witnessed the election. Use this to cover this. Like use this
to explain this stuff.
That's what we need to be saying. You
what we
follow up,
should
like
be
follow
saying.
the changing time. Now let's
Exactly.
talk about recession as another cause of unemployment. Recession is a significant decline in economic activities, and it's covered by poor businesses are closing.
Yeah.
People are no longer spending money because when there's recession, it means that prices are going up.
Yeah.
Supply is higher than the demand.
Demand.
People can no longer afford a lot of things.
Yes.
So what does that eventually mean for the
A lot of people
for
have to be
businesses?
laid off.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They have to lay off these people. Yeah, you see a lot of people could just come out and be like, because there's no job security to start with. So it's like you go to work one day and you come back unemployed because of something that's happening within the government and is affecting the citizens.
Exactly. Inflation and recession is really a problem because if you notice recently, especially since the beginning of this year, the way things have just been going up. And I'm wondering, how do people that even have jobs are complaining about it then? What about the ones that
That
even
don't
have
have
jobs?
at all.
Exactly, because we cannot even exactly blame the employers because when things get hard, it's not getting hard for just a particular set of people. It's getting hard for everybody.
Yeah.
So like now they're finding a cost-effective means to earn money because they cannot be earning money and then that same money are using it to pay, employees as well. Jennifer.
Well, I think ever since the COVID-19 happened, we see that there was a drastic change in the way things are.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost their jobs after COVID-19. A lot of people. So we have, and that's why it looks as if the margin is increasing. Like the percentage of people that are out of work, they're increasing almost every day.
Yes.
Because after that thing happened, some companies realized they didn't actually need staffs.
That
So
was the
actually,
moment.
exactly. So there are some things they did without the staffs being there. So they changed. And some for countries like ours that are developing after the COVID-19 stuff, and we entered a very deep session of recession.
Yes.
So things are going up. We have things going on the high side, and then we don't have enough money to actually enough purchasing power to
Yes.
actually buy all the things that we need. So recession actually is a very big I think it contributes to almost
Majority of the
problem.
and people don't even understand. Like I know that there's some people that were happy that dollar was going up. they were like, yes, dollar is
Thank
going up,
God.
let
But
me
then
buy
it's
dollar.
affecting
But it's
us.
affecting you people.
Exactly.
I mean, you may have siblings abroad that are sending you money, and when you change it, it's like, oh, I just got a large amount of money. But how are you spending it in Nigeria? We see
Exactly.
products going from like having 100% increase. So you're buying that money you're getting, that yes, you're changing to a huge amount of money. You're not buying something at an even higher price. So what's the gain?
That's the reason why a lot of people will say we are our own problem.
Yeah.
Now let's face discrimination as an issue. In this part of Nigeria is by tribe. You're from this tribe of the
Ah, the
country. You're from that.
nepotism is glaring.
It is high. Like it is so much that now even people, like when you want to rent an apartment, for instance, landlords say if you're not of this tribe, do this one. It's very evident in our labor force. Like you go to a place and then you apply for a job
See
and then they're
particular
like
tribe everywhere.
exactly, and they tell you if you are not of this tribe, you cannot work here. Why?
They don't even need to tell you. When you enter, you see
You will
the people.
feel it.
You
You
will just
feel
know.
this place.
In fact, as you
They will not
come
even
into
hide
the
it. When they start
environment,
speaking their language, you just know this is not even the place.
Exactly.
you equate by yourself.
Yes.
You don't need anybody to tell you.
Yeah.
So I think another point I want to note is you were mentioning dollar. I think one of the reasons why dollar affects us is the fact that we outsource almost everything in the country.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everything white people will do for us, everything somebody has to do for us, like people outside Nigeria has to do.
They don't trust
And
themselves.
that exactly.
At all.
So the job that is supposed to be for us, the job we're supposed to have, we are outsourcing it to someone else. So why wouldn't there be lack of employment? Because the jobs we are supposed to have,
They're
you're
taking
giving
it
it to
outside.
somebody else.
And the problem is most of the jobs that other countries are doing for us, we can actually do.
Yes, now.
Like we can.
I would say
equally
they don't
do
trust
them. And it
themselves.
will even
Now.
save
Like,
money for
if
us.
you see that this house was built by a white person and this house was built by a Nigerian, you see the way they will rush to the white because
Why?
they feel like those people will use superior materials for them or will not. But that's not how it should be.
Exactly.
Because the moment we begin to understand that a lot of Nigerians have a lot to offer in terms of that, you're outsourcing a job. Why? Because you feel the cost of labor is probably cheaper as where you're getting it from, or because you feel like, okay, let me give this to another place. Let me save money. You're taking somebody's job.
Yes,
That, like what you could have hired somebody for. Now you're giving it out to another person. You're helping that country. You're helping that person. You're helping that company.
And
But
then
what
there's a
happens to the people
decline in
around
your
you?
own country.
Exactly.
You're further increasing unemployment, and it's even bad because it happens more in African countries, and we are the
Yes.
ones with the top number in unemployment.
And we keep importing everything.
Yes.
Down to toothpick. Like everything is
Down to
being
toothpick.
imported.
Everything.
Even the sad part about it is like the things that, especially crude oil, we have crude oil in Nigeria,
Yes.
yet we are importing it. And then we look at technology. That one was supposed to be like a lifesaver, but automatically
Saving
it's
grace.
looking like the bane of our existence.
Yes.
Because I saw somewhere that they said a robot will not ask for coffee, or a robot will not ask to pee, a robot will not complain of the job being much. So a lot of people actually like cut down on their staffs to be able to get robots to do this, but that's not how it should be. Because those people, like, what do you want them to do? People now begin to detest the whole thing. I saw a video where a robot fainted, like it's shut down, not fainted, it's shut down. And then one guy was like, better don't go and join union. Like, you think you actually like, and I was like, what?
We can't even blame these people because their jobs are being taken away from them.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very cost effective for the employers, to use AI and robotics to do most of their job because, like you said, the robots cannot take pee breaks and all of that. But then you're taking the job of like 20 people. What are these people supposed to go back to do? No job security whatsoever.
And then unfavorable business environment. You guys remember when, in Lagos State, when they shut down most of these delivery bikes, like they had to stop Okadas and everything. And they were actually interviewing these people because at some point I felt public opinion should actually matter. And I think they should actually bring that back. And not only bringing it back, but actually hearing them, because it's not enough to go to the streets and do interviews and
do
ask
nothing
them
about it.
what's happening. People were crying. Like, people were like, okay, you're telling us that we should no longer use motorcycles, it's causing accidents. What is your solution to that? What are the strategies you've implemented? If you cancel motorcycles, what then should we do about delivery? Because yes, it was dangerous. A lot of people were having accidents. But cars too, they get accidents, but I don't see them cancelling cars anytime soon.
Exactly.
But you're cancelling motorcycles. Delivery people had to actually move to different states. What happened to the people that were employed in Lagos State as at then? What happened to people that actually, due to the fact that there was like recession, a lot of government cancelled, a lot of plane tickets, flights were moved. A lot of businesses shut down in Nigeria because of the way things were going on. So all of these actually like cause unemployment, in the country.
Yeah, we also need to highlight the fact that small businesses have a very large role to play when it comes to reducing unemployment. Because, say, for example, a bakery shop opens, in a very small community. They will not be looking for people that have 70 years experience. They will want to employ people around them. That way, taking a lot of people out of the street in order to work for them. And that way, a lot of people already, left the street. They're already being utilized. Most of these small businesses even prefer to train people that do not have any experience at all and use them. So that way, it just goes further to show us that small businesses have a whole lot of role to play in the labor force.
And also highlights that unemployment it's bad. Like, it's not something that has any good effect on anybody, because a lot of people stay at home. They try to get jobs. The labor force is just weak. Sending someone to the labor force is like telling somebody, go straight to like hell, because this is like something that is not beneficial, especially in situations that it was not their fault.
Exactly.
Some people don't want to work. Like, if you ask them now, they will be like, I don't want to work. I just want someone, like, I just need to be having money one way or the other, but they don't want to work. But then a lot of people want to work, but where are the jobs?
Especially when they're employable.
How can they get the jobs when the forces are against them? When the country they are in is already like you can't even get a job in that country. And even when you emigrate, the job you would get is not even on par with what you actually studied.
Exactly.
Because your education capacity is not like in the same level with what they are showing. So people they'll do law in Nigeria, they can't practice abroad. You have to start from scratch.
Start all over again.
Because it's not attainable there. What you don't have enough experiences. So all of that, like, it has like a lot of effects, on the people. But that's what we'll discuss when we come back from the break, because this issue is something that really needs to be spoken about. So just stay with us. When we come back from the break, we'll be discussing more about unemployment.
The first season of Timeline is on. The journey so far has been amazing and impactful. The world needs change agents. The world needs me, you, and all of us. Join me on Timeline as we continue to share important information and discuss social issues that would help someone out there. Let's continue to advocate for critical changes on issues affecting our world today. And together, amplify messages that prefer answers to burning questions. Our journey continues as we create awareness and promote shifts in health matters and other social issues that will alleviate personal and communal struggles, guided by international laws and best practices. Join me on Timeline exactly 7 p.m. every Friday on Youth Network's YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and turn on the notification button. You can become an agent of positive change by dropping your comments in any of our episodes as a contributor or as a professional. Join the conversation respectfully.
Welcome back. And now let's look at the effects of unemployment, on people, the society, and everybody in particular. Poverty. That's a staple. Like, that's something that already comes out of being unemployed. You can no longer afford things. And some people, they might even have stash savings. Maybe you were working before you became unemployed. People don't have.
Especially the ones that just graduated from school and have to face life head on without nothing. Because your purchasing power is already low. And there's no guarantee that when you graduate from school
you get a job.
Then when they'll tell you go to the university, because when you go
done,
exactly,
as soon as you are done, it was actually something. Because for them to be making reference to it,
but things are evolving.
In fact, then when you are done with school, most organizations
they will start looking for
like
to scout
for people that did well in school.
Yes,
one first class, all those things. But now it doesn't happen.
First class are giving 18,000. For me staying in school and studying and getting the degree, and you're giving me 18,000 to commend me for that. Poverty is it's something that really affects a lot of people.
Unemployment and poverty are basically on two sides of the coin, because when you're unemployed, your purchasing power becomes very low, because what can you even afford in this very hard world?
Business closures, looking at people not having money to afford things, prices of goods are skyrocketing. I could not afford it before, and now that it's higher, how am I going to afford it?
Yes.
This automatically leads most of them to crime. And I'm not saying that, okay, you should now, like, because you're poor, you should commit crime, or this understandable.
Not an
Because there are some
excuse.
people that are poor, but you would never ever see them venture into crime.
Yeah.
Like, they would try their best, they would sell that bag of water, they would do their possible best. It's 100,010 just to, survive. And then some people will be like, okay, because of I don't have, let me go into the street and rob people.
And then most of them, their excuse is, the government failed me.
What do you mean the government failed you? Yes, they did, but they failed a lot of people too.
Exactly.
If everybody go into the country, into the streets, to commit crime, then what's going to be left?
Crime is really a big deal when it comes to unemployment. And then crime, like, it has a different level, because crime is kind of different from insecurity, because insecurity is also an effect. Crime, we can just say, oh, people are stealing. I mean, I'm not trying to undermine it. It is wrong. It is
Armed robbery. You're beating me because I don't have.
But and you don't have as well. Armed robbery is also one. But then when you see people start carrying guns and say, because you don't have and I don't have as well,
they kidnap you and ask for 200 million. How is that even feasible? How is that even
kidnapping students and then you're asking for 200 million?
From where?
Where you even kidnap me from? I'm not even seeing well, and then you're taking me.
So how am I supposed to even give you the money to begin with? So insecurity and terrorism is also an effect, and I feel like it cannot even, like, it is something that cannot be. We cannot say it too much.
Yes,
because it is a problem.
Effect.
Exactly.
Effect. The unemployment in Nigeria, like, we can see the effects every day as we walk around.
Yes.
Like, you just know that something is wrong. You don't need anybody to educate you about what is going on in the country. You meet friends, you meet families, you meet strangers. In fact, there are some strangers you meet and you know that you are better than them. Like, you are moved to even help them. Like, your situation is bad, but you know that, this one.
Let me just give you 100 naira.
Exactly. Because I can still remember, God, there was this lady then. I think that was the period where there was no money. Sometime last year, the money scarcity something.
Yeah.
A man, he was stranded at the park.
Like, you have money, you cannot access it.
That time was hell.
This one is that he doesn't even have money. Like, he just got to the park and then the price had increased.
Also, the one that
so
he
could
had.
So he and his family, they had traveled and they were on their way back only for them to get to the park.
And they could not afford to go back.
They just traveled 3 days ago, only for them to get to the park, to come back, to return home. The price of things had just skyrocketed, and the ticket fare was doubling, and they were just standing at the park. The man was begging me, I don't have, but the little I had to like just give. But the man stood there. Imagine a full-grown man begging, with his wife and children, begging.
And it is very, very sad that most of these people, it is not even their fault to
it's
begin
not.
with. Like, it is not their fault, because most of them, like the definition that you gave earlier, most of them are very, very employable, and they are willing to work, but they don't just have, like, they cannot just access jobs. Now let's bring immigration into the whole thing. Now a lot of people leave. In fact, let me just come down to Nigeria. A lot of people leave Nigeria because I have the certificate. I have trained myself, because I was saying, even after you come out of school, you have to still train yourself. Yeah, a lot of people have trained themselves, and they are like, does this country even deserve me? They start asking so many questions, because how can I go through so much? And I know that most of my peers are making it. So a lot of good hands are leaving the country.
Exactly.
Yes, and I see the ratio of doctors to patients reducing.
Exactly.
Because doctors are leaving. People are leaving. They feel like their skills are better, much usable outside, and they earn more. At least they are earning something that a lot of people go there in less than 2 years. They're already sending home to their family, because there they value you. And next, you see that they'll start planning for their siblings to come. It might look like nothing, that the airports are always full. It might look like nothing, but it's affecting people here. Maybe those that is supposed to affect is not yet touching them, but the people that are here, doctor, you go to the hospital, you see one doctor on call for millions of patients. Why?
And the doctor is telling you, I'm leaving the next 30 minutes.
How do you know? Someone that is telling you, I'm leaving the next 30 minutes, you want to put your diagnosis in their hand?
Exactly. Like, how do you do that?
And then, okay, now let's look at, because even as we're talking about it, I'm even like feeling sad. How about those that are not in that situation? The mental health part of it, how you are forced to look for jobs, how you are sending your CV every second, every day, and getting rejection. Because you just saying, I got rejected is even better than seeing it. That you applied for something and the next thing, I'm sorry,
unfortunately.
So just quickly tell us, most of the mental health effects that they go through. I know that there are a lot, but just shed a little light on it.
The ultimate is depression. You will be no, you will not be. The person will be depressed. Like, there is nothing as sad as I know there was a friend then that said that she had sent so many CVs and she had gotten 400, unfortunately. Do you know what it
400?
means to
That one
get
is cost.
400 rejections? 400. Until one day, like that day when she got a job, she had to sit there and count how many mails she had
gotten.
sent. Imagine what's happening to the person's mind for every unfortunately, or we went through the whole.
You're good though, but
You're
there are people
good,
better
but
than you.
You are good though.
So, like, imagine for 400 times, your mind will not be okay. When you see people walk around, and then they snap at you, it's not their fault. It's the state of the country.
Exactly.
Like, you tell them one thing, they tell you 10. Like, they are
Yeah.
ready to give
They're
you,
already
like,
so
as you are.
angry.
Everybody's angry, everybody's frustrated. And these are, like, it's the effect of depression, it's the effect of anxiety.
Yeah.
You're always anxious.
Yeah.
And things are getting more expensive. And you look at your hands, you don't have the money that it takes to actually get what you need. You'll be anxious.
Yeah.
You'll always be feeling, how do I make it? How do I make it? And all this leads to all sorts of vices.
Even the anxiety that comes from somebody just coming to kidnap you. Like, because, like you said, it's a ripple effect.
Exactly.
So unemployment is already the cause of most of the issues, and that you are not even safe. You enter, but you see one chance bosses and everything, and because this is something that unemployment has caused.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you're already like anxious, unfortunately, but now you're walking home from the unfortunately, and you're not even sure if you get home.
Safe. Exactly. Statistics has it that for every 10% increase in the number of the unemployed, there's an increase of 1.2% in total mortality. I'm just adding to the mental health effect, because most of them just want to end it.
Yeah.
Because imagine searching for a job 10 years after graduating, and all you're getting is unfortunately. I'm honestly wondering how that girl must have felt. 400.
400
400, unfortunately, and that's for
400.
those that she even remember, like, counted though.
Exactly. What
How
about
many
the ones
did
that
she
didn't
send?
even send her?
But we can keep talking about the effects, the causes, and everything. But how do we solve it? What are the solutions to this? Because yes, the solution is giving people job, employing them, but personalizing it, because we've mentioned different causes. Let's look at investing in education. We even said it as we were talking about it. We need to. The curriculum has to match with the times. People cannot be going to school in 2024 and still be taught things that were 2010 valid. They were valid in 2002. They need to actually go with the time. They need to actually like create a forum for people that when you're out of school, deserving people get good jobs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not even okay, even people that did not even do well in school, because you cannot limit someone's skills down to their educational,
Down to the
Yeah.
certificates.
yeah. So you actually create jobs for these people. Let the labor force be valid, be working for them.
Even the infrastructure. I mean, a lot of so somebody graduated from school, she studied mass communication, then she was like, I've never even been to our radio house. Why? It was not working.
Yeah.
Why? Like, there are no computers for people that are studying computer science. There is no there's not enough infrastructures. Even the
They are
classrooms.
drawing the computer instead
So
of
the mental
the
health perspective you spoke about. I mean, the only solution is to give them jobs. But are there other ways too that we can remedy their problems, even when they don't have jobs? Because I mean, all of them might eventually get a job, but situations whereby they've not even gotten a job, is
At
there a
all.
way to like remedy the situation, at least to make them feel better even without the job?
the only thing is to keep positive.
Okay.
You just have to keep positive, because the more you feel depressed, and because one of the side effects of depression is being lethargic, like you're just tired.
Yeah.
Always
You will
tired.
not be very active or proactive about doing the things you're supposed to do. Imagine you were talking about CV. You need to write like CV, keep reconstructing.
Yes.
So you have to just keep a positive mind that this thing will work. It will work.
Yeah.
So, and you keep those things by actually self-affirmation, personal affirmation. It will get better.
Yeah.
It will get better. And also talking to the right people. Don't go and sit down in the congregation of people that are always discussing the state of Nigeria or the state
You
of
just fall
your
into
nation.
depression the more.
There's
Those-
nothing positive to say about
or
that.
people
So
that keep talking about how unemployment. No. You have to get yourself mingled with people that always also keeping a positive mindset,
yeah.
and also people that are working. Also talk with them.
In case if there are any openings, they always think
Exactly.
of
You
you.
always keep a positive mind. Like, this is the best way to actually handle it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way. I cannot even tell you to go and register for therapy, because it takes money to register for therapy.
And you can
So-
barely even feed.
So just the positive atmosphere actually builds your confidence and help you face all these challenges.
You already spoke about investing in small businesses.
Yeah.
And yes, investing in small businesses because they have the resilience to stand these economic downturns.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, if you open a bakery, you will not look for top people to put it. You look for people within
around.
the local
Yeah.
residents. But let's look at the creative sector. You know, the sports, look at entertainment. Because, entertainment, you watch football and you're like, yes, this is something that's keeping me happy during this time, or some of them sad. But still, the entertainment sector and the sports sector have actually done a lot in terms of,
economy.
opening, in terms of job creation and as well as funding the government. Now look at the Premier League. It generated a total tax contribution of 4.2 billion euros as at 2021 and 2022. And it supported more than 90,000 jobs in the UK. You see, the Europa League also created jobs and they amounted to over 481 million euros in terms of funding. UK Music created 142,000 full-time jobs. If you come down to, the movie sector, the Bollywood has an employing generation capacity of nearly 35,000 rupees, and they also created jobs and brought about a lot of money, to the economy.
I think it doesn't go without saying that the creative sector is one sector that is always overlooked. People just go there because I want to be entertained. I want to go this thing. But like, they're creating a lot of jobs. Let's talk about, the Premier League that you just said. They donated 400 million euros to funding of projects. And then I'm not just saying funding of projects within just their sector, even to other communities as well, thereby creating a lot of jobs for people. Even the movie, a lot of people a lot of us watch movies. But then I was reading an article that said Nollywood is not even what we used to know that time, and now they're creating a lot of jobs. I was reading 136,000 jobs have been created in the last 3 years. That is like a whole good effect on the economy right now, and it should not be understated.
Something really, because Nollywood, I even saw that they generated $590 million. So we need to actually invest more into this sector, invest more into research into this sector, because every sector has a part to play. Even the entertainment sector, even like the Nollywood, Hollywood, Bollywood, they've been creating jobs. So we need to actually create an avenue for them to thrive
as well,
because piracy is something that is actually stealing a lot of jobs. When they movies that should actually be released at a particular time and generate income, you see it already. You see people like, I have the link. All of that actually, like, they inhibit the growth of all these industries, and that should not be so.
I think we should also invest in the agriculture sector, because I think it's a sector that is actually very much undermined. People, and that's partly because we import everything.
That's true.
And these are things we should curb. You can't import everything. We can just focus on building our own people, our own environment. We have good products. We have, in fact, we export to other countries some of the things we have. Like all these little things, Gary and the rest of them, some people actually export it abroad as a source of business. So if we can actually focus on the agricultural sector and make people understand that agriculture is actually good, because people leave school studying agriculture and they know they will not study, they will not have anything to do with agriculture, and that's bad. And that's because of the state of the way things are in Nigeria. You already know that if you're going into agriculture, you go suffer. But we should prioritize all these things. If people are coming out of the schools studying anything related to crop science, agriculture, and the rest of them, they should be picked immediately. And they already have knowledge. This is the point for practice. And they are coming with a refined mindset. Many of them could have ideas that could help make things better for us.
In the sector.
Some of the ways of doing things, they can improve on them. Watch what other countries are doing and learn, and then implement in our own country.
Well said, Jennifer. What can I say? Great minds think alike. Like, I would involve you too, because you've actually said, well. And that's like, the basis of everything we're saying. Investing in sectors, that will yield profit to the economy, investing in education too, all of these problems that we've highlighted, looking for the solutions, and not just unrealistic solutions. We're talking about things that would involve the people, because unemployment would only bring about bad things. Like, there's nothing good that will ever come out of people being unemployed. Investing in entrepreneurship, small businesses, they all have a role to play in making sure that people actually get jobs and the economy gets better. Well, as I usually say, don't forget to keep the conversation respectful. The comment section, keep it respectful as usual. Follow us on our social media platform at Healed Network. I am Jennifer Egenti.
I'm Precious.
And I'm Jennifer Kizito.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.